So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 came out about 5 months ago, and I thought it was great. It kind of makes me happy that out of all the video game adaptations to turn out surprisingly great, it was the one adapting Sonic Adventure 2. And with this movie turning out to be so good, it made me very excited for the future of these films. Yeah, I'm making another Sonic movie prediction video. I guess it's just tradition to make one every time a movie comes out. For the last one, I generally talked about what I wanted out of this franchise as a whole, but for this one, I'm going to focus on just what I think the next trilogy of movies will consist of. I just realized that typing out that sentence, I might be jumping the gun a bit here. I haven't even really seen an iota of what the fourth movie is going to be, and I'm already thinking about movie 6, a movie that, if it happens, won't release until 2032, when I'm fucking 32 years old. I'm not going to go into detail about the plot of each movie, just what I think the general direction I think this franchise is going to be going in. So starting off with movie 4, spoilers for the post-credits of that film if you haven't seen it yet, but for some reason decided to click on a video that was about Sonic movie predictions like the dumbass that you are. This is the one that I have the least to say about, mostly because we already have a pretty good idea of its direction. We know that Amy and Metal Sonic are going to be in it, so they're most likely going to be adapting Sonic CD, which most likely means they're going to be introducing time travel into the mix. To be honest, I was kind of on the fence about them introducing time travel in the Sonic movies. I'm always wary of time travel in general. I just think it usually gets executed pretty badly. But after a while, an idea popped into my head. Okay, so in Sonic 4, I suppose they could try to do it exactly how it is in the games, where they're constantly traveling back in time into the future, with both good and bad futures they create throughout the adventure. Perhaps it will be about Metal Sonic actively trying to save Robotnik by going back in time to prevent his death. But that's not really the idea I had. It's what's for the after-credit sequence of this film. So in the movie universe, we know that Shadow was not created by Gerald. He just showed up one day in a meteor that looks like it's related to Black Doom. You could tell by how black and doomy it looks. And if we do see Black Doom and the Black Arms in future movies, and they look like this, it's gonna raise some questions on why Shadow looks like that. Why Shadow and Sonic look similar is never really a question that's been answered in the game, but in the movies, I think there can be a legitimate explanation. If Sonic Movie 4 does utilize time travel, I think with that sentence alone you can see where I'm going with this. Sonic is fighting in the past and gets knocked through a tree and leaves some quills embedded into it. Later, in the after credit sequence, we cut back to the quills that have been long forgotten by this point, in which then we see Black Doom descend down and pluck one from the tree. Boom. Shadow would have been created by using Sonic's DNA and powers. I know that sounds like the most fan fiction thing ever to exist, but I think it could work. I think it would really tie nicely back into the first movie, where Longclaw told Sonic that there's always going to be people after his powers and try to use it for themselves. That's exactly what Black Doom would have been trying to do, but accidentally lost Shadow somehow like an idiot. But that's what the Shadow spin-off movie would be all about. Yeah, I'm talking about a Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off movie now. I've completely lost it. I don't think it's impossible. Apparently there were talks behind the scenes at one point discussing the possibility, so who knows? But yeah, let's steer back to the main trilogy. After Sonic 4, what would we get for Sonic 5? What would it be about? Some people are hoping it'll be about Sonic 06 with Silver, and that makes sense. You introduce time travel in movie 4, and then you expand upon it in movie 5. They also do have some form of Iblis reference in the Knuckles show, so that very well might be the direction the franchise is heading. However, I don't think that's what movie 5 will be. I think that will be movie 6. Movie 5, I think, will be an adaptation of Sonic Adventure. And by predict, I mean I want it. I want it so bad. If you don't know, I've been asking this since literally the first video I've ever made on this channel. My first video was me predicting the plot to Sonic Movie 2, and in it, I thought Chaos might be in the movie. In my last predictions, I thought the post-credits scene would be Chaos, and now here I am again, asking for Chaos once more. I think it's just such a cool concept for a villain. A water creature that changes its form as it grows more powerful. I want to see perfect Chaos wrecking the world on the big screen, goddammit. Do I think it's actually gonna happen? I don't really know. On the one hand, it's Sonic Adventure 1. I do think out of most Sonic games to adapt, it probably would be pretty high on that list. We even got a character from that game in the Knuckles show, so it's not like it's being ignored or anything like that. I think it just comes down to what they decide to do after Movie 4. If after Movie 4 they don't just jump straight to Sonic 06, then I definitely think Sonic Adventure would be next. It could also work as Movie 5 since we already got the main 4 guys from that game introduced. And I don't really think Big and Gamma are super integral to the overall plot of Sonic Adventure. You could easily make an adaptation without them. And even if you don't, Sonic 2 introduced 2 characters with Tails and Knuckles, and Sonic Movie 4 had Metal and Amy. So they could just do that for Big and Gamma in Movie 5 as well. But if they do decide to go for Sonic 06 for Movie 5, then I don't know. I don't really know how you'd continue after that, to be honest. Opinions on Sonic 06 story aside, it's definitely the biggest in scope. And if it gets adapted, then it'd be pretty hard to follow up on. Sure, afterwards you still could do Sonic Adventure 1 with Chaos, and I'll be freaking out all the same, but there'll probably always be that vibe that this is just kind of a step down compared to the one that adapted Sonic 06. I feel like that one would have to be the end game. Make it once you feel like the movie franchise has run its course. A nice finale to everything. But that's not going to happen. As long as these movies make money, they're going to keep continuing no matter what games they adapt. But I suppose that's something more to worry about once we reach that point. Hell, we don't even know if Sonic 06 is really on the cards. Like, it makes all the sense in the world. You had Sonic, and then you introduce Shadow, then you introduce Silver, and all three of them going super. And then you have all these other characters kind of doing their own side stories, kind of like how in Sonic 06 they did it. It would be like the perfect movie to sort of quote-unquote end things on, even if they don't actually end it there. And if they do adapt it and it's good, be prepared for the statement and jokes that this is the first video game movie to actually be better than its source material. That will be screamed to the heavens until the heat death of the universe, so I just want to prepare you. I think my biggest want after everything is just that this franchise has a dignified end. I know that's not realistic, but in a perfect world, they would make movie 6 and just end it there. No more live-action Sonic movies. I know in the last video I said I'd love a Chaotix movie, and I still do. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the Sonic movie universe. After all is said and done, they could reboot it, make it fully animated, and then adapt more stories. But now I'm really getting carried away. These aren't even predictions anymore. They're just acid trips. That's really all I gotta say about it. God, I really hope movie 5 is just a Sonic Adventure adaptation. I need it so badly.